Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, YouTube. How are you guys doing? I'm gonna only make this short because y'all know I have my onboarding today with my new job at 1. So um, I just wanted to talk about, and what is because y'all know I'm learning. I'm always willing to learn. I don't want to act like I know everything, but I should probably do. Okay, this is it. All right, so I just wanted to come on Instagram Live and on YouTube. Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's 11:01 here in Cali. I just wanted to come on here and just talk to you guys about what a trim is because, thank you, God, for waking me up this morning. I was looking on my social media and I was just kind of seeing about how I was seeing a lot of like posts about um, mostly on my Instagram about hair trimming and stuff like that. And there was this one post I came across, and it was this person that had a hair care line of like it was like um, it was a hair line. It was a hair system where you would have to go get your hair trimmed or cut, and then you could start using their products, and their products will help you not get split ends or breakage. Um, and that was kind of like odd to me. That was kind of like, huh, that was a little different. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, it kind of felt like a gimmick in a way, because it was just kind of like, well, why would someone need to go? Why would someone need to? Why would someone need to go get their hair cut or trimmed, and then they can start using your products because it's gonna look like your products help their hair look the way it did, but in all actuality, they just went and got a haircut, pretty much did a big chop, and started using your products, and then their hair is growing, it's flourishing, it's healthy, but it's not because of your products, it's because of them deciding to go get a big chop. So I thought, so I just wanted to come on here really quick and talk about what a hair trim is. So I looked up trim on Google, and it said trim is to make something neat or of the required size or form by cutting away irregular or unwanted parts. Um, decorate something typically with contrasting items or piece of material. Okay, so um, that's what a trim is. So, and that's what I was kind of saying before I kind of got on live. I wanted to get my thoughts together of what I thought a trim is. A trim is like a lot of people say, oh, a trim helped my hair to grow. Like me cutting my hair helped my hair grow. For years, cosmetologists have been saying a trim or a haircut does not help your hair grow. It just helps maintain the maintenance of your hair. It helps to maintain the appearance. It helps to maintain, um, it just will make your hair nice and polished, and it'll, make your hair healthy or whatever. But it doesn't help your hair to grow. Your hair is growing by itself, um, unless you have, something going on with your hair that is not allowing your hair to grow, but your hair is constantly growing, you know. So, like I said, a hair trim or a haircut is just to help maintain your hair so it can look neat and polished. And mostly you would know to get a hair trim or a haircut when you go and you get your hair blown out at a as a blowout, or you get your hair flat iron. That's when you want to flat iron that's when you want to cut or trim your hair. If you're going to wear your hair straight, if you wear your hair curly, you really can't tell if you have split ends or not or whatever, unless you have dangling hair just dangling, there's a knot at the end, and you could just cut that off. You don't have to go get a haircut. A lot of people like to get their hair cut because they want it to be neat and nice. So with that being said, when is it necessary to get a hair trim? Well, it's necessary to get a hair trim if you are planning to wear your hair straight, because a lot of people get their hair straight or they go get a hair trim or whatever, and when they go get their hair flat iron, their hair, when they wash their hair again, they have heat damage. So it kind of contradicts the whole, oh, I got a hair trim and now my hair is healthy. Like, even if you were to cut a lot off, if you were to flat iron your hair and your hair can't take that, you will get heat damage. So you just fix one problem to create another problem. And you have to, in order to see if you need to cut your ends or whatever, you blow out your hair and then you flat iron it. That's a lot of heat on your hair that your hair is probably not even used to, especially if you have virgin hair, and meaning your hair is natural, you haven't blowed out your hair in like 2 to 5 years, and then you decide to go to the shop and you didn't tell your hairdresser that I haven't, it's been 5 or 2 years or whatever that I blowed out my hair and I flat iron my hair, and now they go to flat iron your hair and they see that your hair is in what they will call split ends, breakage, or whatever. Um, and so they cut a lot off and then they flat iron it, and now you got this nice silk pressed hair. And then you go to blow dry it again, or you go to wash your hair, and now you got heat damage. So now you're blaming the hairdresser, like, oh, you gave me heat damage, when it really wasn't the hairdresser. It was it was just your hair reacting the way it would react. You know what I'm saying? So um it's just like a fire on the ground. If you have green grass and you set that green grass on fire, it's now burnt. It's now, you know. But then if you were to set that same place on fire, it probably wouldn't be, depending on how dry it is, it probably won't be as huge as, well, actually a moist grass will probably won't catch as fire as if you were to have a dry grass. So if the grass is brown, it's dry, it's like hay, it's gonna catch, it's ablaze. But if the grass is really moisturized and you may have dropped a match on accident, and it may have, it probably went out, it probably burned, it probably didn't even catch on fire, probably. But if you were to drop a match on dry grass, it's probably gonna, flame up. You can't blame the matches for starting a huge fire, or blame the person, or say that person damaged your grass. It's just the grass reacting to, it's just your grass reacting to, you know, it's just behaving as grass would, So, so my thing is just like a lot of cosmos, a lot of hairstylists, if you guys are going to post about what getting a trim, because what I was seeing is transformations, like people come in and this, they say, oh, this person hasn't got a trim and yada yada yada, months or years, and then they go to trim their hair, and it's this huge transformation. So now, as the more you keep watching those, and it's different pages that have this, so when you keep watching those different pages, you're like, okay, maybe I should go get my hair trimmed. It's like, but for what? Like, why are you not wanting to go get your hair trimmed? Why are you not wanting to go get your haircut? Now, what is a haircut? A trim is like, making it neat and nice. A cut is to get a certain style, um, to get a certain, you know, uh, uh, is to get a certain, look, or like I said, style for your hair. In which, okay, I looked up what is a haircut on Google. It says the style in which a person's hair is cut, a reduction in the stated value of an asset. Okay, so um, like I was saying, a haircut is to cut your hair if you want layers and stuff like that. That's a haircut. It's not that you actually needed a trim, or you just want to cut off a little bit of trim. Is when you want to cut off a little bit to kind of make it nice and even, and you whatever. But a cut is when you want to cut, your hair off. Maybe you might cut this down. You may probably cut this ponytail down to make it not so long. There's people that probably don't want their hair this long. So they probably will cut their hair. A trim is mostly like when you want to get the ends, and you want to kind of like, if you wanted to cut this piece off, if you want to trim this light piece off, just make it a little neater, that will be a trim. um just like when people trim the tree, they're not cutting the tree down, they're not cutting branches off, they're just trimming, the ends, so it could be uniformed and nice and neat. um does that help the tree grow? No, because the tree grows by the root. If the root is healthy, the tree is gonna grow. So that's the same thing with, a haircut, or a hair trim. Hair trims, haircuts don't make your hair grow. It's the product that you are using And our motto here at God's Chosen is you can go get a hair trim, a haircut. We're not against that. But if you're going to return back to the same products that made you get a haircut or a hair trim in the first, well, if it made you go get a trim or whatever even if you want to get a haircut, if you want to go put scissors to your hair because you want to make your hair grow healthy, whatever, then what are you using after you leave the shop? What products are you using? What shampoo are you using? What conditioner? Are you using a deep conditioner? What leave-in moisturizer or leave-in conditioner are you using? Are you using a heat protectant if you put heat on your hair? What moisturizer are you using to moisturize your hair? Are you using a hair butter or oil? Maybe your hair can't stand the butter because it's too heavy. Maybe your hair doesn't like oil because it's too light. What are you doing as maintenance for your hair to stay healthy and stay good? It's just like an oil in a car. Oil helps lubricate the engine so the engine doesn't get dry um, from the inside, and it doesn't rub against each other and cause friction. Well, it's the same thing with your hair. You want to make sure your hair is nice and moisturized, because when something if your hair is too moisturized, you can have moisture overload, and that your hair can be limp, and it could cause breakage as well. um, But if your hair is too dry, it will break and it'll snap and it'll fall off, because your hair is dry and it's dehydrated and it's weak, and it just can't hold on anymore. So you have to um, really have a talk with your hairstylist about, and hairstylist be honest, and because not every person needs a hair trim. A lot of people don't even like to a lot of people don't even like to get a hair trim, and a lot of people don't even need that. A lot of people don't need a hair trim. A lot of people don't need a haircut to, like, a lot of naturals like to go do a big chop. Okay, a big chop could be cool, but you really don't need a big chop, because um, if you have a lot of heat damage, you do need to cut that off. But if you're talking about split ends, I mean, I would just say at this point, you need to I would just say, before you go and cut I mean, even there is some stylists out there too that say, before you want to go get a hair trim, you should, or cut all your hair off, just try to use a sulfate shampoo. If you haven't, use a sulfate shampoo on your scalp and on your hair strands to wash your hair, to get your hair clean. Use a deep conditioner, a leave-in conditioner, um, use a good moisturizer and a hair butter to lock in that moisture, and make sure you put moisture on your ends, and make sure you put the hair butter on your ends as well, and make sure you are either braiding your hair up or twisting your hair up so your hair can naturally air dry. And because if you are blow drying your hair and you find that all that nice moisture that you just put in your hair is now sucked out and your hair is dry, it's breaking off, then is your hair needs to air dry. It needs to air dry because it needs moisture. So say in the wintertime, you notice that, yeah, when you blow dry your hair, everything is cool. But in the summertime, you notice that your hair starts breaking off. That's how my hair was. In the wintertime, it was cool. But then once we hit the summertime, me blow drying my hair and then going outside, whether I had a ponytail on or braids in, my hair would be extremely dry, and it would break off, and I wouldn't retain my length. It wasn't until I started letting my hair air dry and braiding my hair up after, and wearing wigs, after I started doing that, I started noticing that I'm retaining my length. So you have to keep an eye out. And just because people tell you blow dry, blow dry, blow dry, like I asked a certain person, like, okay, well, my hair is dry, and they're like, well, what are you doing in the washing process that's making your hair dry? There was nothing that I was doing in the washing process. It's just my hair didn't like being the heat. It didn't like being blow dried. I was sucking out all the moisture that I just put in my hair out. It didn't like that. So and once I left my hair not soaking wet, but a little damp, and I will put my moisturizer on, and I'll put my butter on top, and as you guys will see, my hair was like caked white or whatever, the next day my hair will be, it will be moisturized in my hair, it'll be sucked into my hair, and my hair is so plump and moisturized. Even the ends of my hair on my ends will be curly. My hair was very nice and satisfied and happy and moisturized, and it was going about its life, and my hair was finally retaining length again. So, and I did a huge cut earlier this year, so that's why I'm like, y'all, don't cut your hair, because I'm now having to, grow my hair. Like, I really cut a lot off my hair, and now I'm having to regrow my hair back. Now, thank God it's not taking me 6 months or a year to start seeing that my hair is actually retaining length. It actually took me a month of me setting a regimen and keeping up with that regimen. And now, after a month, I was able to see that length come back slowly but surely. I mean, my hair still has a long way to go because I cut a lot off, but um, I'm at least seeing length. So that's why I say I'm no longer trimming or cutting my hair. So I don't want layers in my hair. I don't want, you know, I don't want it. And a lot of people be like, oh, well, your ends or your hair, you would have to cut. Like if I was to go to the shop, say my hair was this long, and if I was to go to the shop, they would most likely cut off because it gets thin at the ends. Because they look at like it's thick and then it goes thin, they will most likely cut, you know, I don't know, they probably would cut this off or something, because it goes thick and then it goes thin. Okay, well, this is a wig. So our hair naturally gets thinner at the ends, and every hairstylist knows that afro hair, or any hair at that, your ends are going to be different. Um, they're going to be different length or texture than your actual hair. On top, it's going to be, thicker at the root, and it's going to be thinner at the ends, because the ends are the oldest part of your hair. Your ends been through, maybe the blow dry, been through and that's why we start with our ends first, because, you know, they're the oldest. And if we were to start at the root and then comb down, we're going to be pulling our hair at the root. So when we start at the bottom and we work our way up, that's why we comb our hair slow, so we can, be gentle with our ends. And then we can maybe go, if our hair is a little thicker, like for me, when I comb my hair and I start at the ends, if I start feeling like a little tug, I'll go back to the ends and comb through, and I'll really just take my time and comb through. I wouldn't sit there and try to, like, you know comb through it. No, I'll start at the bottom, work my way up again, and then I'll start going slower and really, combing that through. Um, because the higher you go, the more thicker your hair is. Now, you can use castor oil, which that's a new ingredient that we're going to start adding in our hair care products, is castor oil, because that helps to thicken up hair. So if you want to thicken your hair up, you can use castor oil. Um, so that's what I'm going to start, testing out for our next shipment, um, for our new thing. And I know I was saying the end of this year I was going to have, just Shopify up and running, but I think I'm going to probably push that back until next year, because I do want to make sure that I do have enough in my stock, and I do, I want to make sure that what I am telling you guys at God's Chosen Hair Care, first off, our oldest collection, which we're going to add on our Shopify, is the um, Smoky Campfire Herbal Cocoa Bar and Genesis Herbal Garden. Those are a done deal. Results shown, testing is done. But for our newest butters and oils that we're going to be coming out with, I want to make sure that, just like how I did that, of months, because I made those back in what, April or May. We had a shop open by June. So, you know, um, and I started seeing results. My hair is the healthiest it's been for a while. And this regimen that I'm going, and I'm still learning my hair. Um, but it's pretty simple with my hair. Like, my hair loves moisture. It loves water like me. I stay drinking water. I love drinking water. My hair loves water. It loves moisture. It loves herbs. It loves the butter. wasn't really a fan of the butter, but I love butter. I love the mango butter, cacao butter, coconut butter. I love the butters. Like my hair loves the butters. I love the butters. I love the herbs. I love the oils. My hair is thriving, and I'm still using a store bought moisturizer. I'm using a store bought conditioner, deep conditioner, moisturizer, leave-in. The only thing that I'm using that is all natural is the hair butter and hair oils. That's it. Everything else is store bought. And my hair can coexist with those, no problem. It's thriving. And when you guys start using it, you will see it too. You know. So um yeah. So you know, that is that's just what I want to come and talk to you guys about is the difference between a hair trim and a haircut and when do you need to get it. Um so don't be feeling like you need to go get a hair trim because you see all these posts on Instagram about people going to go get their hair trim. That's just what they chose to do. And if you feel like, okay, I want to go get a hair trim because I just want to start fresh, that's the perfect you will be getting a haircut, not a hair trim. That's why a lot of people be like, oh my gosh, you cut so much off. Yeah, because you got a hair cut, not a hair trim. A hair trim is just to make your hair neat and nice. A haircut is to get your hair into a certain way to um, a haircut is to style or to get your hair in a position to grow a certain way or whatever. A hair trim is just to make it neat and nice. And like if you're gonna go, like I said, if you want to wear your hair straight and you want to flat iron your hair, you get a hair trim to make your hair, a little hair trim, a little nick and nat to make your hair straight. So when you have that silk press, it's nice. But there's a difference because if you have to cut off more than just a little bit, then that's a haircut. And before your stylist starts trimming or cutting your hair, you need to let them show you how much they're going to trim or cut. Or you need to tell them how much you want off. Don't just be like, "Oh, I trust you, do what you do," because they're like, you know, telling you all this other stuff because they may be like, okay, well, I showed her this, but we're actually going to cut off this. She said she trusts me, so I'm just going to do what I do. Then when everything's said and done, you had hair that was right here, but now it's up here because you said you trusted her, and whatever she does to your hair, you know that you need it. You can't no, like no. So if y'all have any more questions or concerns or comments, leave them down in the comment section. Instagram, you can DM me if you want to ask me a personal question. YouTube, you can email me at God's Chosen Hair Care at yahoo.com. Instagram, you can do the same thing too. I'm going to go ahead and head off because I want to get mentally ready. I feel like I'm going in for an interview, but I'm not. But I just want to get ready. I want to spend time with God before I go in. And I encourage y'all to, on your own, do your research and look at your hair and figure out what do I want for my hair? Like what do I need for my hair? And before you just rush into a salon and ask their opinion, start with this first. Start with this first. Stop blow drying your hair and stop flat ironing your hair. And do this. Get a sulfate shampoo if you haven't already. I would, before you shampoo though, get an oil of your choice, and you can add herbs in there if you want. If you want to learn how to, well, actually, it was a live. I think I mentioned it. I mentioned it, but I will come on here and I will show you guys how to make your own hair oil, um, and I will show you guys how to make your own hair butter, um, and because it's I mean I already tell you guys how to do it, but it's pretty simple. Just real quick, if you want to do a hair, if you like, I don't got time for the hair butter, but the hair oil, I feel like I got time for that. Hair butter, you get your own oil, you get a little pot, pour some oil in there, not too much, but pour some oil in there, put some herbs in, make sure it's saturated in the oil and stuff like that. If you have to add some more, add some more. Simmer, let it simmer on low heat You'll start to smell it. Make sure you stir it around, nice and slow. You'll start to smell it. Once you smell it, because you don't want to burn the herbs, turn it off, get a funnel and put it in your bottle and just pour, I would say, because your pot's probably going to be big, I would say to pour the oil, let it cool down first, pour the oil in like a Tupperware bowl or something like that or whatever. And then once it's cooled down, you could put the funnel in your bottle and then pour your oil in the bottle like this. Pour, you'll put your funnel, of course, you'll take the top off, put your funnel where it has a hole in the middle, pour your oil in there, and then boom, you got yourself a hair oil. And that's how we make the hair oil. Now the herbs, some people are like, oh my gosh, that's so easy, and you're charging $30. Yeah, because it's the oil and it's the herbs that we're using. Now, of course, I'm not gonna be like, oh, we use these herbs, because you're just gonna go make a mock of my interview. Oh my gosh, of my oil. So I mean, I show you guys how to do it, so you can seriously go do it yourself. But I give a list of ingredients and stuff like that. But it's just about there's other stuff that goes in that we put in it. I mean, it's herbs and it's oil, but so yeah, it's just that. But the herbs that we have in there, it comes from. I'm not gonna really explain it, but it's simple. I'm not gonna be like, oh, we put something different in it. It was like we do put different herbs in there, um, and it's not herbs that you buy off of in the store. Of course, you can go on Amazon. I mean, I'm not gonna make this scientific, but yeah, and it's like I said, that's how I started making my hair oils. But there's some people that just don't have time for that, so they just they use their they want to buy it and stuff like that. And our hair oils, the reason why it's priced the way it's priced is because of I mean, I really, really, truly, I wanted to sell my hair oils at $20, to be honest with you. However, with all the herbs that we put in it and the oil, it actually costs more, only because of some of our ingredients that we do have come from Amazon, and the herbs itself, sometimes we have to buy. Um, they raise the prices on some of the herbs because some of the herbs that we use in our hair oils is imported. So because it's imported from other countries like Asia, India, and stuff like that, they charge more. So in turn, we have to charge a little bit more, not a lot, but a little bit more. So it went from $20 plus, you're paying for labels, you're paying for the bottle, you're paying for the ingredients, you're paying for the time. So, you know, $30 is just 10 more dollars from 20, and it's a really good investment. And if you only use it for pre-poo, it could literally last you a month and then some. So it's a really good investment. We do have sales though. I mean, that's the beauty of it. We have sales that we're going to have, and it knocks it down to $20. So um and we're going to we so those are our 8 ounces. Well, actually, I think that's the I don't know if this is the 7.8. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's the 8 ounce. But our 8 ounces is for 30, but we may have um maybe like a 4 ounce, and that would probably be like 20, you know. That would probably be our 20. I don't know. But our 8 ounce oils is $30, and our that's the other thing too. Our oils is very potent. And our hair butters is $35. Because that right there is a whole new different, you know what I'm saying? So $5 more you can get a hair butter, but it's two different things though. So our hair oils is $30. Our hair butters is 35. I want to keep it in that range because I didn't want to raise it too much. I felt like that was cool because honestly, our hair butters actually we get it more. We get it for more um, than what we're charging. It actually, in all actuality, everything that I get costs me over $100. So for me, our company to knock it down to 30 or 35, it's really really good because really the oil is supposed to be 50 and the hair butter is supposed to be like um like a like 60, but we knocked it down in half pretty much. And so now it's 30. I mean, it's honestly a lot. It may not seem like a lot, but when y'all start, and I'm talking about the good bottles, talking about good quality grade bottles, oils, herbs, like when you if you decide to make this on your own, you're going to see how, wow, this is really costly. Now, mind you, this is not just for one bottle. This is for, we're speaking 20, 50 bottles. And then we're talking about a business. There's some people that don't like cheap. No, because let's be real. You guys have to also remember, just real quick, and I'm gonna get off live. The cheaper your hair products is, that's how you know that they use cheap ingredients. I'm not saying you have to spend 100, because they probably use, what I'm saying, cheap ingredients too. And they're just, but if you find someone that has hair oil between $30 to $40, that's a good buy. If someone has a hair butter that's between 30 and $50 or whatever, that's a good buy, because they spent more than what they're selling it for. Either way, they're selling it more than what they're selling it for. And then on top of that too, when they have to raise their prices, they're already not starting off at a low price. Like if I started off at $20 and then I have to jump up to 30, y'all gonna be like, wait, what? So, but I could always start at a high price and then have a sale that will knock it down to a price that, ooh, I can afford it now. And then when y'all start using it, you're like, oh, because you don't want people to be like, oh, like they're selling it for this price, like this is worth more, because you don't want to sell things that is less than your value. You want to sell what is your value. But that's a whole new different live. I don't want to get too far into it. I just wanted to come on here real quick and just tell you all the difference between a trim and a cut and when you need to use it. And like I said, guys, have any more questions, I am going to start coming on live and giving more educational um, background to you guys, and letting you guys know about how God shows in hair care, how we run, how our prices come up and stuff like that. And giving y'all pretty much the behind the scenes inside scoop. But until then, y'all have a blessed day. I may come back on live later just to tell y'all how everything went. And y'all have a blessed day, and I will talk with y'all later. Thank y'all. Bye, YouTube. Bye, Instagram.